finally get to unwrap them and see them on the court?
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot of fun to be out there with these guys.
These guys talked about, competing, on the defensive end, competing with each other. A lot of talent on this roster. It's like iron sharpens iron. How good can these guys make each other just through these practices?
Well, really good. I mean, but it's necessary for those guys to push each other, for the coaches to push them, for them to challenge us on things that we all can do better, because iron does sharpen iron, and that's part of building the togetherness and chemistry that we have to build.
Brad mentioned the discussion that you two had coming into this practice alone. What was that like, and kind of what are you feeling from him? What you expect?
Yeah, just I want him to be comfortable. He's in a new environment. He's been a Washington Wizard his whole career, and that we're going to throw a lot at these guys, and we're going to really, really tax their legs in week one. So just give him a little expectation, for his first days of work, and then what tonight is going to look like also. But I was excited to see him in the Suns uniform.
When it comes to the defensive principles that you're looking to establish here in the first week with the identity you want the team to take on, what are some of those things you're really hammering on to the guys in this first week?
Yeah, well, obviously it starts with transition defense and finishing possessions. Get defense back and get it set. But also, a really heavy emphasis on the boards. The physicality of boxing out. The 2-on-2 coverages that try to keep us out of rotations is a big point of emphasis. And that we're going to have a multiple layered defensive attack. Where we're going to have a lot of things in our bag to throw at opponents throughout the course of an 82-game season. That will help prepare us for the playoffs.
Is it a feel thing for you when it comes to developing those layers as the season goes on? I'm guessing it's not the same point of the season every time for you.
Yeah, we add as we go. But what I really like is that we're not going to go into each game just doing things one way. We'll treat different players different ways throughout every one of the 82 games of the regular season, so that we're not having to try something new come playoff time. That we've done this all year, and we like I said, we sharpen all our tools come playoff time.
It's easy to say transition defense wise, people just talk about communication, but your teams have always excelled being able to get set like that. What are some of the things that you emphasize to try to lay that groundwork and make it less of an issue?
Communication and effort, really the biggest things. We are going to wind our guys up more than usual about being on the offensive boards, and we feel like we can do that without compromising what we do on our transition defense. But the effort and alertness is typically the biggest things in terms of getting back and getting set.
Having 3 big scores as you had to change your philosophy, offensively speaking, considering the team that you have this year, considering the team you have.
Not really. It just looks better when you have those guys out there. Quite frankly, we want to keep it simple. We really want to highlight attacking before the defense is set. Obviously teams are going to try to throw bodies at those guys and be physical. And, if we can get them in the open court, playing with pace, but then in the half court, playing with a lot of movement, rather than just, being stationary. I think, especially with Nurk being here, those guys' ability to throw the ball to Nurk and then pass and cut off of him, with his passing ability, I think should really free those guys up.
You had mentioned chemistry is something that has to be achieved. It takes time. So first week of training camp, all these new faces, how do you kind of like to go about laying the groundwork for that?
I think they we really encourage communication, and the underrated piece of communication is the willingness to listen. We're going to challenge each other. But if we're going to be, defensive, every time somebody tries to correct you or put you in place, then we're not going to get very far. So, it starts with that communication and willingness to listen, but also encouraging these guys that are really, some of these guys brand new to our team, to get to know each other as people every bit as much as they're getting to know them on the floor. They got to know their tendencies and where they like to get their shots and whatnot. But how's your tell me about your kids, tell me about your mom and dad, you know what I mean? Like, let's get to know them on a personal level as well.
Speaking of those attacks and flags, coming back tonight, are there multiple 2-a-day?
No, this will be the only one this week. Just just I had it in my heart to not fully bail on the two-a-day era, and let's push them just a little bit. But after today, we'll be at 1-a-days.
You had mentioned tendencies. Is there anything, I know you've coached against a lot of these guys already, but was there anything that stood out to you so far in watching the training camp or summer pickup?
I mean, not stuff that I already know about these guys. We've studied these guys all summer, so
Right.
not a whole lot of surprises. But it's great to see them all together. You know what I mean? And I don't just mean Kev, Book, and Brad, but Nurk being in there, guys like Grayson Allen, Eric Gordon getting in there competing, and then Jo being a part with his, all the intangibles that he brings to the table. We got a lot of pieces,
A couple of questions about pace, where Utah fits in for half court penetration and kickouts, but also where do you see him besides being the 3-point shooter that he is in terms of pace?
Yeah, well, all of our guys, are going to have to execute the system, and he's a guy that, obviously the first thing you think about is going to be the 3-point shooting that he brings, as those guys create and draw double teams, his ability to punish on the backside, but he's, really going to compete hard on the defensive side of the ball, execute all the winning fundamentals like sprinting back in transition, boxing out, off ball spacing, all those types of things, are going to be important to him, and we expect him to be a big contributor for us.
Yeah, for Indiana and then LA and now here in the first days, obviously it's got those hypes for that first day of school feeling, but where does this rank among those among three teams?
Right up there at the top. I think the Lakers thing was really cool for all those years going against LeBron. I had a great deal of excitement in having him on my team. But I'd say the same thing for these three guys here. I mean, Devin Booker knocked us out of the playoffs a couple of years ago. KD's always been a nightmare, and Brad's always been a nightmare to go against. So to have those guys on my side, there's a great deal of excitement with that.
Think of how you miss the Lakers Suns rivalry with you being here now?
Nah, I'm with the names that we got on those two rosters. Frank Vogel's about 12th on the list.
Is that the KD 16 you're rocking, coach?
Yes, I'm wearing them better than he is.
How's Ben just building a relationship with him and Devin, and is it similar to the approach you took with LeBron and AD?
Yeah, it's similar, but it's those relationships are not too different than the relationship with Grayson Allen or Yuta or all the guys on your team. You want to get to know them as people. You want to see how you can help them in their career and what positions we can put them in. To help them reach another level of their success, but also, making sure that the environment around those guys is going to be held to a high standard. So I think there are similarities from that standpoint.
You can assess the Western Conference right now. You say it's the most competitive it's been in, I don't know, years.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I really do. I think there's no really bad teams. I think last year I really felt like there was 13 teams that could be, scary and make the top 8 and could be scary and pull off an upset. So there's a lot of contenders, and I think it's as deep as it's been, and since I can remember.
Coach, obviously you brought over like almost a whole new staff here. How do you think that they've adjusted to the team, and how do you think the team has responded to that?
They're responding really well. I think the connectivity has been really good. The summer was huge for our staff, integrating with the players that we have. We spent a lot of time in this gym, away from this gym, throughout the summer, just getting to know those guys as people, talking about the system we're going to put in place. And, most of the staff has been with me, in the past. And Kevin Young has been a great addition. His knowledge, his corporate knowledge of what they've done here the last few years has been invaluable in terms of us, making this transition.
Thank you, Frank.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
You had your share of first days of training camp. Eric talked about it was really competitive and high energy. How would you describe it?
Likewise, man. It was very tone was set from jump from our meeting this morning with Coach. Just in terms of the type of team we'll be, and he wants us to compete and be physical. and that be our identity. You know, it's going to be up to us as players. You know, as we compete and play and kind of put our own emphasis on the game, but physicality is going to be at the top of the list every single game and every single day. So today was that. It was a good first practice, super competitive. Just push each other, man. That's what it's about. So it was good.
What was his overall message in that first talk? Because that's probably like the first time that all the guys are together at one point and get ready with the coaches and everything. What was his message, so to speak?
No, it's always important. You know, a coach always, especially, you know, this is Coach Frank's new. He's new here. We have a lot of new people here, new staff, new players as well. So, you know, the first thing is establishing your basis as a coach and what your expectations are for us as a team. And it's like I said, it's more or less being a physical defensive minded team. You know, that's going to come first. We know what our abilities are on offense, but you know, if we're not willing to guard and defend and get in the stance and hold each other accountable on that end, you know, we're wasting our time. So to hear that message, you know, I think that it was clear and loud through everybody today, and it's going to continue to be that way.
Right, but this is probably the most talented team you've been on. What adjustments will you have to make, considering you've got Book and KD also scores in your game to adjust to playing with those guys?
The biggest thing is staying aggressive. I know it's a lot of times we caught ourselves a little bit today is just being too passive and sometimes giving the ball up a little too much instead of looking at the basket and being aggressive, you know. So I think just kind of keeping that mentality that we have as scorers, and you know, our aggressiveness is what's beneficial for the team. So no matter who it is, we trust that each other is going to make the right play. So it's not a matter of, oh, it's my turn, it's your turn. We don't have that. You know, it's a good flow of offense, good flow period.
Sorry, is that where a training camp like this is so important, because you have so many new guys and guys that don't want to step on each other, like, no, you shoot. That's like, well, let's just take the best shot.
100%. You know, we've even developed a relationship a little bit before camp, you know, getting to work in over the summer. Little mini camp things that we did, but you know, to add the new guys from the trade in now with Nerd Grayson and all those guys. It's now we gotta kind of pick it up again. You know, we gotta teach them and kind of get another flow of what they like, what they feel, and get them used to what K, Book, and I like as well. So it's gonna be a work in progress. It isn't gonna be something that we'll just figure out overnight, but it's a steady progression as well.
So what you were saying,
Iron sharpens iron. You know, when you look at this talent, how much better can you guys make each other in practice?
The sky's the limit. You know, we can't put a cap on it. I think that's what I love the most about it. And our competitive nature always takes over. And no matter what state we're in, we're just our natural instincts. You know, we can go through a walkthrough. Next thing you know, it's a live segment because we're just pushing and talking trash, whatever it is. But that's good energy. You know, you want that as a team because you know that if you can compete with your guys night in and night out, we're just going to carry that over, you know, to an opponent. So it's good that we have that kind of mindset of knowing that we can push each other in a good way.
to what you were saying to Dwayne about defense and your experience being on good teams, what are the key points at this point in the season of establishing good habits?
Now, the biggest thing is communication. One, everybody being on the same page, understanding what the scheme is, concept is. Bigs are more or less like quarterbacks. So as long as they're loud, you know, talking to us and us guards, me, Book, Jo, whoever it is, like we have to get into the ball and and get the rest of the defense set, knowing that, you know, if we're up, we're active, you know, the rest of the guys have no choice but to be in their stance and up and ready to go as well. So it's a collective effort. You know, it's not going to be just we're relying on one guy to get stops or we're relying on bigs to protect our rim. You know, we have to really lock into our own individual matchups as a man. And then obviously have the trust factor in your teammates to be there and be in your spots when necessary.
For any player of your caliber in the last couple of years, there's lazy narratives that start to develop about who you are as a player and who you are as a defender. In this position specifically, with the amount of firepower you guys have, how much are you looking forward to not embracing, but showing what you can do defensively?
A lot, you know, because I think that's one thing that we hold to ourselves as well. You know, it's a big expectation we have on ourselves is to defend. You know, we know that we can score, but we want to be an elite defensive team and showcase that we can do that. And you know, as crazy as it may sound, we won't have a choice. You know, the other team is going to have guys out there that can put the ball in the hole. So we got to make sure that we're ready to go and strap our shoes on too.
Brad, you guys have, oh, sorry.
No, good.
Yep. You guys have 10 players on this roster who shot at least 35% from three last year. Do you think you expect to get up a lot of threes this year? How do you think that's going to work?
Oh, we hope so. I mean, obviously, we see the transition of the league. It's, you know, it evolves every year. Teams will shoot more and more threes, 30, 40, 50, 60 threes a game now. So, I mean, we have it as a point of emphasis. Coach hasn't broken it down too much, but we understand that that 3-point line is important. You know, we understand that we can shoot it at a very high rate. Coach has an open door policy almost. You know, if you're open, let it ride. You know, so to have that type of ammunition out here is great. You know, we just have to make sure that we're getting 2 feet in the paint. You know, and getting great shots from the three.
As far as motivation is concerned, at your stint in Washington, which it wasn't all that successful as far as getting to the postseason, but you come to an organization now that the possibility of winning an NBA championship is in your sights.
Mhm.
Mentally, how do you go into this situation? You've got a second chance in life here, so to speak.
Oh, thanks for that. My career died. No, you're good. You're good. It's all love. It's all love. But no, honestly, in some ways, it did kind of rejuvenate my mental. You know, when you step foot here, and you know, and Kevin and Dev, like the first thing they say once you know you're considering everything is, you know, let's get in the gym. It's like, okay, yeah, like that kind of changes everything. You don't hear that every day from your teammates, especially in the off season. But then, you know, to understand, you know, what Matt wants, his vision, James, Josh, and Coach Vogel, like they preach winning culture every single day. And you can see the winning habits of every player, every staff member in the gym every single day is towards working towards winning that NBA championship. And so in some ways it's like I know what I signed up for, you know. Like you said, it's bittersweet being somewhere for so long, but you never get over that hump. And now I have that opportunity to seize that. And so for me, it's embracing being here. It's embracing the opportunity I have, because not every player gets it. Not every player has the blessing to be that I'm in the situation I'm in, to play with an unbelievable team, with an unbelievable staff, unbelievable resources. Like I have no complaints now, you know. So it's up to me to continue to put in the work, trust myself, be confident in myself, and try to help this team win in any way I can.
What do you feel like as you look back on those past couple of years in Washington, if they were frustrating or whatever, that you're able to step back and learn from that experience? Because
every situation has its own, you know, whatever. You know, every situation is different. You know, Washington is totally different than Phoenix, and I won't even compare the two, because they treated me awesomely for 11 years. You know, that doesn't happen in the NBA. You know, guys don't stay in one place for a long time. So I have nothing but great things to say about them. It's just unfortunate we just couldn't get over the hump there. I mean, granted, you want it to happen in one spot, but life is life. You know, now I move on. I have a new chapter to where I have a awesome chance, you know, every single day to motivate myself to go get something, you know, and it's.
You mentioned the differences between Phoenix and Washington, but coming from 11 years in the Chocolate City, is there a real big culture shock coming here to Phoenix?
It's a lot of Mexican food, a lot of Mexican food, but I love it. It's kind of changed my diet, so it's been great. But no, it's like you said, it is a change. It's an adjustment, but I love it. Phoenix has definitely grown on me. The weather's getting cooler, so you know we're good on that front. My family's all settled, you know, and it's been great. You know, the fans are awesome. People here are great. And so my transition has been smooth. It's been unbelievable. So I'm happy that all I have to do is just focus on the game of basketball.
Kids find a baseball team yet?
No, I need a baseball team. Right now they're in flag football, so we got flag on Saturdays. Trying to get them to take flags and not tackle people. So
Be junior waiting in the wings.
hey, listen, it'd be real close. But listen, if we can get a baseball program, please send them my way. I got a lefty waiting to go.
you mentioned Max Busy, Brad. Just
how did the day go? I mean, obviously, it's always interesting the first day when guys finally get together.
Yeah, today was good, very competitive. I mean, it was high energy, did a lot of playing, a lot of defensive drills, and we got after it. It wasn't like a sit back practice, and but guys, they get after it.
You say competing, maybe give us a couple of examples of what you saw today that you know that we're at this place already right now.
Yeah, you can tell this is you know, they set it up to be very competitive, a lot of defensive drills, and a lot of guys going one-on-one, then progressions, and then did a lot of 5-on-5. So it was a lot of contact, and it was, you know, very tough practice.
5-on-5, that's obviously an opportunity to show you what you can do in the game environment. Today as far as
Well, I mean, it was just good to get out there, you know. Of course, we're gonna have to learn each other's games, learn the offense more. But this is almost like, you know, just have the competitive spirit to, you know, get in better shape throughout this playoff and I mean throughout this preseason so we can get ready for game one.
Eric, in your experience, what makes a good defensive team and what are like the steps necessary early in the process to achieve that?
Well, it all depends on the type of team. With the type of team, we have a lot of length and we have a lot of, you know, a lot of guards. So us guards, we got to stay in front of our man, and we got the length to contest at the rim. So we just got to cover for each other, and we just got to be a little bit more pesky on defense.
Just about half the roster is guys that are about 3 to 4 or 5 years in their career and they're starting to piece some things together. What do you remember about that part of your career and when things started to gel and you were able to be a positive contributor?
Well, yeah, I think that's the good thing about our team. Guys have been in the league. We got some guys that are still relatively not young, but they've got enough experience. So everybody, a lot of these guys have been in really good situations and positions. So I think along the way, the more practices we have, more games we have, we should get better and better.
As a veteran, you played for a number of coaches. What are your impressions of Frank so far?
Oh, very good. You know, he has a competitive spirit, but also a, you know, very nice guy. And you know, he's a communicator. So, you know, that's what we need for this team. And it's gonna be, I think it's gonna all work out.
You may have answered this question already, but what does it mean to the team having a full training camp? Last year, in the kids and DCs and players are coming in late. What does it mean for the development of this team and all the fans here in the game?
Oh, it's definitely meaningful. And we just got to continue to build more chemistry as more practices and everything goes along. And like I said, we had a good competitive spirit practice today, and we're gonna have a lot more of that. And you know, because we're all in to try to win. So that's what we're on.
What's the job about it being competitive? You know, iron sharpens iron, right? There's a lot of talent on here. You know, how valuable is that when you guys have a new team and try to get, you know, the chemistry together and find out what each other has?
Yeah, I think the more competitive we are, the more we got to figure out things as, you know, we learn each other's games and it's always good to play. And so the more we're on it now, the better we are along the way.
What's the balance of communicating about what you like between one another and just getting on the court and kind of feeling what you all about?
Well, yeah, communicating that has to happen, and the competitive nature of knowing our game. That's why we got to go out there and compete compete like we did today, and just have more of that. Then the trust and all that will come.
If you guys had 10 guys, or you have 10 guys on the roster that shot at least 35% free last year, what do you think the capability is with this year's team of three? I know you played for the Rockets. You guys got
Yeah, you know, if this team gets up a lot of threes, you know, we should be hard to stop. As long as we're hitting open man and making right decisions off pick and roll situation, you know, it should be a fun game for us to score a lot of points.
There was so much talk over the years of you joining the Suns. Twitter. To me, it finally gets to the Suns.
Yeah, I think this is the right situation, the best position to be in right now with this team because we have something to look forward to down the line, and you know, so this is going to be good. I think we're going to have a great start, and it's all about us, you know, being competitive now. Looking forward to game one during the season, and I think you know, I'll take our chances on how good we can really be.
How cool is it to be part of a franchise with the first ever title?
Yeah, no, like I said, this is the best situation you could be in. You have something to look forward to down the line at the end of the year. So we have that type of talented team. So we just gotta keep on pushing.
When you say that, you know, 3-point shooting actually helps a lot with the offense. So what do you see of a player like Utah, you know, we playing against them and now playing with them? What does he bring to the table besides 3-point shooting?
Like with me, I can always, you know, knock down a three or I can always create my own shot, but we have so many guys that can have the capabilities of creating their own shot, and all we got to do is just hit the open man so we can be an unpredictable team to scout. So, you know, once we come out there and be unpredictable, I mean, it's going to be really hard to slow us down offensively.
Yeah, I meant Utah too. I mean, you might have misheard what I said, but Utah, what's an option? You want Utah?
Yeah. Well, no, he's a good shooter. We all know that. He had a great shooting year last year, but you know, we expect the same this year. He should have some good open looks with the type of talent that we have on the floor, and him and a lot of other people. So we gotta make use of everything.
The past few years, you've had a lot of attention from defenses on you, on the Rockets. When you're on a team with these kind of stars, is it almost like adjusting to the amount of space you're about to get?
Yeah, there's gonna be some opportunities where I'm gonna get some open shots and, hopefully I can do the same for them. And, like I said, they were talented enough to do what we wanted to do for.
What are your thoughts on being here now? I know you wanted to come here in restricted free agency, that decade ago. What are your thoughts about being here finally now and being accepted that?
Well, yeah, during that time, I think the Suns were going through a rebuild during that time, and but like I said, this is the best position to be in as of right now with a team like this, and where we're all at in our careers.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
No problem.
Yo, whatever they paying you, they're not paying you. What the hell is going on? Damn, dude.